Please welcome Mr. Joel Avrunin.
Thank you, Lisa Jackson, our GSA president, for that introduction. Good morning, President Lusky, distinguished guests, honored faculty, my family, and fellow graduates. With my undergraduate degree in engineering, I sought to answer a question: is science the sum of all knowledge? Our society accepts that if you learn the science behind a system, you're now the expert. You can tackle any problem. So with that mindset, I started at Towson, wanting to become an expert in the science of business, specifically, how do you manage organizational change? If science is the sum of all knowledge, then an expert in the science of engineering can design, and an expert in the science of business should be able to manage. I foresaw going to class, learning the skills that I would need to effectively manage. If you read my schedule, it looked like everything in the business: marketing, accounting, project management. And yet, in an economics course, I learned the prescient words of the Austrian economist Friedrich Hayek. He said that knowledge of the circumstances of time and place were far more critical than all of the science we could ever hope to learn. From Hayek, we learn that since a manager cannot be everywhere at once, he must empower those in his employ to make decisions on their own. He teaches that the further removed a decision maker is from the point of knowledge, the slower the organization will be to react to change. So the key to management is hands off. So why did we come to school to become managers? So let's consider an example. Go out York Road, drive up to I-695, what will you find? Cars driving at 60 miles per hour, and generally they don't collide. But there's no manager telling the cars how to drive. Each driver makes his own decision. So how does that work? It works because the cars follow rules of the road. They stay in their lanes. They follow the traffic laws. And if a car decides to change lanes, it signals. It communicates to another driver. An effective manager looks at his company like that interstate. He establishes a common vision for his team, which would be like the rules for the road. He then acts as a conduit for communication for his team. That would be like the turn signals of the car. But when a car comes too close in traffic, it's the driver who must swerve, not the Maryland Highway Administration. And a manager has to empower his team like this. And yet, do we really think that? Steve Jobs is this visionary CEO. He had created a company that made the iPhone. We all say, why can't all CEOs be like Steve Jobs? And yet, do we want to work for autocratic, micromanaging CEOs? Does that really empower our success? We may laud Apple's successes. We all have our iPhones and iGadgets. But at the end of the day, remember the same organizational culture back in the 1980s gave us the failed Apple Lisa, and just 3 months ago gave us Apple Maps. That organizational culture can't create consistent winners. So even in our own lives, we value the manager who enables our own success, not micromanaging us. My economics professor, he calls his management blog "Giving Up Control." That is the greatest lesson of management. Whether in corporate America, we're not all managers, many of us are parents, even as a parent, is giving up control. As was mentioned, I was recently promoted to sales manager, and I had to take my old sales territory and hand it to somebody new. Capable though he is, he won't run it the same way as me, but he won't be successful unless I give him the latitude to run things in his own manner while giving him coaching along the way. As I become a manager, I really am giving up control. Those of us who are parents experience the same thing. Each of our lives is a sequence of thousands of daily decisions we have to make. And yet, we can't make those decisions for our children. We must create a vision and a framework so they are successful making those decisions on their own. In closing, what I've learned most from my experience at Towson is that the true success of management comes not from doing the job of everybody else. It comes in recognizing that when an organization must adapt to new information in the market, the best person to react is the one nearest the change. The work of a manager is to create common vision for his team, empower his individual employees to act quickly in a changing market, and to foster common communication so that that change and that knowledge can propagate throughout the organization. Thank you very much, and congratulations, graduates.